Hello, Scorpio. Thank you for joining us. This is Pastor Rosemary coming to you from ANSARA Angels Ave. This Angelscope is for both Scorpio Sun and Scorpio Moon. These are your December 2014 Christian Angel answers from your Scorpio Angel Barchiel, who resides over fixed water. Scorpio leaves November behind remembering. Friends are important to me, and they still are. Scorpio, your half human, half scorpion nature can give you both the strategy as well as the foresight to more fully discover the scorpion's fixed water nature on the condition that you care for yourself and those you care for the most in December. Now, before we get into the specifics of this month, I've written down an email that was sent from Backup Trans 31, and we're going to answer this email on the air. This is a person that won the lottery for this month, our lottery, and also this is someone who was able to ask a question that we really enjoy answering. So this was fun for us. Now, Backup Trans 31 says, "Hi, I'm a Sag, and I guess that would mean that I'm blessed by Philip, or the Apostle Philip, whatever you call him in your training video. I'm a Roman Catholic, and in our tradition, this Apostle's feast day is in May on the 3rd of the month." Now, that was a good question. Thank you. So to answer you, Backup Trans 31, you're correct. The Roman Catholic tradition celebrates it on the 3rd of May, and the Anglicans celebrate it as well as the Lutherans on the 1st of May, like May Day. However, the Eastern Orthodox disciplines focus on the feast day of the Apostle Philip on November 14th. And why are we using that, since we're brought up Roman Catholic, not Eastern Orthodox? That's because our formal education is in Rosicrucianism, whereas our informal education, more high school education, is focused, in maybe Roman Catholicism, but we didn't have too much of that, and we had a lot of education and formal education in Rosicrucianism. That's where our more advanced levels are focused, our doctorate levels are focused in Rosicrucianism. Okay. So you're correct. So one just has to sort of dive into the system they're using and go with that. But one doesn't need to be closed off to the systems of others. One can understand the systems of others and see exactly how it might apply. Okay, so continuing with the Barchiel transmission for the month of December. Now, Barchiel is stating that Scorpio should take home note of the sun's shining, its watery light, in the northern hemisphere on the sign of the Apostle Philip, known as Sagittarius the Archer, because of the November 14 association. Taking an exact measure of the high trajectory of the Chiron moon, or the cold moon, on the 6th of the month of December at 12:27 UTC, or Coordinated Universal Time. That's like what the time in London, yeah? Okay. So that's going to be what's going on this month of December. The sun will be oppositely low in the sky with midwinter bringing what is known as the Achilles moon, or the long night moon, so beloved in the ancient legends, where Achilles is known to have decapitated Apollo in order to rescue Helen of Troy on the Selene moon. If you reside in the southern hemisphere, Scorpio, the solar and lunar behavior of your chart will be reversed, and therefore any upsetting temperamental excitement will climb up on the backs of those who exude confidence in these southern regions, undampened by the cold wetness of the moon, coaxed into an almost annoying confidence by peeking of the sun down under. So, this is where Christian astrocartography comes in handy to understand both your behavior and the behavior of those you love. And we are experts in Christian astrocartography. We have a lot of experience with that. That's where you are or where you're going, not where you were born, but where you reside now. Because wherever you reside now will chisel you into its energy pattern. And if you're going to move, that's going to chisel you into that energy pattern. And of course, you can take into account not only where you were born, but also where you've been. Because every place you've been has chiseled you. You can't just leave a place and think it's not going to affect you. Of course it's going to affect you. Where you're born affects you. Where you lived at various stages of your life is going to affect you. And where you're going is going to affect you. Okay. Now, Scorpio, stay tuned for that. Your mind and thought patterns are being gently baked by divine providence. And Jesus Christ, who is the great alchemist of the universe, I said, who is Jesus Christ? He's the great alchemist of the universe. Through the planetary influences of your chart this month. So he's working on you. It's your pineal gland. He comes through the pineal gland. The pineal gland, you could say it's him. It's the white unicorn. You know, it's the portal where your soul comes through. After, 49-day sojourn as it goes through Metatron's, sort of like the spinal column, up to the pineal. And that's where your soul either reincarnates or establishes your glorified body in heaven. Okay. Scorpions in the northern hemisphere will find themselves in the alchemical stage of the bain-marie, which is a soothing bath meant to derive all the mercury of your spirit, your best traits, to be put aside for use when it becomes necessary for the edification of others who need your gifts of copious amounts of luminous light. This is the process of your body of light becoming even more developed. Scorpio persons residing in the southern hemisphere will undergo the alchemical substage, this is important, of calcination, held within the sublime main stage of dissolution, where this great alchemist called the Lord Jesus Christ, again, the pineal awareness, Christ consciousness, pineal consciousness, where this awareness will submit your ego and will to his. Thankfully, though, this is going to be more in a comforting manner than in a hurtful manner, because he loves you. So the great alchemist, the great king of the universe, Jesus Christ, the great alchemist, loves you. And there's different kinds of self-love. One's ego self-love comes more from the conscious mind, the solar mind, the resh here on the front of the head, consciousness. That kind of self-love is fearful. Whereas consciousness, when you are in tune and touch, and you're lined up with your pineal gland, when you're lined up there, then it's a different type of self-love that's not based on yourself so much, not on your, how do you explain it? It's very hard to explain, but it's more that it feeds you. Oh, that's the difference. The other parts of your body are all wanting to be fed by something. You know, your ear wants more to hear, the eyes want more to see, the skin wants to feel more, the taste buds wants to taste more. All of that. You want to smell more beautiful perfumes, whatever. But the pineal gland, Christ comes through there and feeds you, feeds all those things, without over-satiating you. It's a constant state of being fed in a blissful manner. All your desires being fed in a blissful manner. And, but it never becomes disgusting because it's never overdone. So this is the state of heaven, this is Christ consciousness, and when everybody's there, then we have the Messianic kingdom on earth. And we're all there, so everybody just needs to allow it and remain calm. Because one really just has to receive that. For the sake of this particular giver is not anything one needs to be afraid of, and it's not anything bad. Okay, so back to the transmission from Barchiel. Your ego will be further dissolved in favor of your body of light, and here the struggle between your 7 non-physical bodies will become much more unified. Use the intelligence of the Apostle Philip to bring peace to your mind and your life, Scorpio. Meditate upon chapter 14, verse 8. John, chapter 14, verse 8. Lord, show us the Father, and that will be enough for us. The Father is God consciousness associated with water. It's a little bit different from what you get from Christ. Water, of course, is refreshing and molds to you more, or kind of, it's a different kind of refreshment. Whereas what Christ gives is it's a little bit, it satiates, it's sweeter and it satiates more parts of the 613 desires. And I guess it's the 614th desire. I guess God satisfies the 613 desires we're all born with. And perhaps Christ satisfies the 614th desire. In the gematria, that's death, adds up to what, 11? So that's death, so that would make sense. And that's the crucifixion. Okay, there we go. Moving right along with Barchiel's transmission. Philip means, okay, God the Father is associated with water, and Philip means lover of horses. Horses are associated with water, and also the Horsehead Nebula in the constellation of Orion, where the Messiah is meant to come through into our dimension and elevate us. In the year of the horse goes on until, in the Chinese tradition, until 2015. Don't forget to recognize, continuing with the transmission, don't forget to recognize Sagittarius, the archer, who's the birthday boy or girl from November 22nd to December 22nd. And don't forget to give birthday greetings and gifts to your archer friends and family. The goddess Sekhmet takes over from the god Wadjet this month, with her warlike influence being felt through the 26th of the month in ancient Egyptian astrology, or in the ancient Egyptian astrological system. Your ruling planet of Mars is highly susceptible, Scorpio, to the rugged and pinpointed precision of modern warfare, which includes both code writing abilities and pure king of the mountain instincts. Hot temperamental anger will no longer win wars, luckily, for war is not the same as it once was. The sign of Cancer, the crab, will be elevated in your life this month, Scorpio, if you live in the northern hemisphere, due to the moon riding high on the horizon in December. For Scorpios living in the southern hemisphere, your Leo the Lion cohorts will be peaking, although attempting to shine their solar disk on Sagittarius for obvious seasonal reasons. Scorpios who reside in the northern hemisphere will find that your Leo the Lion friends and romantic interests will be tucked away safely under the horizon, where the sun god awaits his quick rebirth after a 3-day sojourn in the depths of the Tuat region. These kings under the mountain must not be underestimated due to their soon-to-quicken solar aspects regaining influence as the sun once more climbs in ascendancy up into the cold skies above the horizon. Under the earth they have found various types of radioactive stone, the very one used by the Lord Jesus Christ to create the universe, casting down matter into the creation of a third-dimensional realm. The Lord Jesus Christ took the stone of creation, which was radioactive, and threw it down to, and as it passed down to the dimensions, it created worlds in each dimension from its radioactivity. This is, of course, according to the Zohar, which, of course, Jesus Christ is an author. There's many rabbis that are authors of these books. Yeah. So anyway, as it fell down through the dimensions, it got smaller and smaller and smaller, until it landed on Earth as an atom, or atom. Easy. So this is how he created the third dimensional realm. But the third dimensional realm is now intersecting with other realms of dimensional space-time. Because sometimes time penetrates, and during World Wars, our usual stance of space penetrating time, during World Wars, time penetrates space. And that's why you have things like the Philadelphia experiment, where people were transported through time and they got stuck in the hulls of ships and those kind of things. So anyway, that's what new technology comes in, and that's kind of things that happen. And there were macabre floats that went bad and all that. But okay, just to continue with Barcell's transmission. No matter what hemisphere you live in, Scorpio, enjoy the Christmas festivities, and again, don't forget to put a wreath on your door, and be sure to carry a properly chopped down pine tree through the door to be dressed and bear gifts for you and yours and those you love, if you want fertility and prosperity to bring the Scorpion much abundance. These are regeneration rituals, and if people tell you not to do these rituals, they're going to do them. They don't want you to do them because they don't want you to be fruitful and multiply and have riches and wealth and prosperity, and have your gardens grow and have clean oceans deficient. This December, you find your house of Scorpio bearing its seed, bringing to fruition the 23rd runestone seed Dagaz within the house of Sagittarius. The runestone of Dagaz brings the fusion of polar opposites for Scorpio in December. This mixing of the twin pillars forms the morning dawn, or conversely, the twilight half-lighted eye of evening. This is a gateway for the fire of a new mind, and a gatekeeper who guards his gate with Odin's one eye, focusing upon runes once spied when crucified upon the Yggdrasil tree, 23 being a genetic mixing point in all scientific disciplines. Those closest to Scorpio will be the ones to keep Odin's amorous eye upon. Not a stranger this month. So don't worry so much about strangers, being overly zealous. Be more concerned about those closest to you being overly zealous, and who's the closest to you is your ego. We're all like that. Our egos are the closest thing to us. We think it is us. It is not, and this is what we're here to learn. Okay. We don't want to destroy the ego. We want to grow it, make it healthy by correcting it and utilizing it properly, and letting it utilize its gifts for the will of the Christ consciousness. Okay. Now we're getting into Scorpio love matters now, and Scorpio health matters, and Scorpio money matters, love, money, and health. And the main body of the transmission we just gave was the angel of the Lord, sort of tainted with Barchiel, and them having a conversation, if you will. But now we're going to have something precisely for you, Scorpio. This is only for you this month, where Barchiel takes over these three areas. And we're going to be doing this consistently, because this works. So Scorpio love matters take the opportunity to bring luck home, utilizing well-placed trust in self, found in the 13th runestone seed Iwas, which is the Yggdrasil tree itself. denoting avoidance of lovers' quarrels, with understanding and allowing transformation of the self through endurance and sacrifice. There is no need for Scorpio to overly apply self-discipline or blame to any love or friendship situation in December. Rather, see what needs to be done to bring harmony and get on with it in a calmly efficient manner. So what Barciel is saying here is that really a little bit of self-sacrifice, you feel you've sacrificed enough, but you don't have to sacrifice. This is the point. Scorpio, you don't have to sacrifice anything in the physical world. And you don't have to sacrifice your heart. You merely have to sacrifice, as we all do, our own ego. And our own ego isn't necessarily something that's all confident or all self-deprecating or all this or all that. You know, if we say, well, I'm better than this person because I do things this way, or, you know, this person is too confident or not confident enough or whatever. However we define ourselves more precisely in life is because of our first trauma. Our first trauma defines us. It gives us consciousness. Pleasure doesn't give you consciousness, pain does. We wake up with pain, we fall asleep with pleasure. The times in your life you don't remember, everything was good. Times in your life you do remember, things were very bad. Because there was pain. Now the level of pain is according to the person, but that's beside the point. Your first trauma defines you, and that becomes your ego. Because that's what you fear, and fearfulness is the ego. Self-concern. So we all have that. And we all have it a lot. But what you have to sacrifice is thinking that that has to constantly be your story. You can have a new story. Not that you have to radically change or do such a pendulum swing. And we all do that. But we can have the pendulum swings be more of a pendulum dance. And things can just be more relaxing. And people don't have to get all so upset. Okay. So let the pendulum swing in a more relaxing manner. Let these pendulums dance. That's all. Okay. Now, that's what Barciel was saying here. We want harmony. Don't overly apply self-discipline or blame, you know, to the self or anyone else. And just move along with a little bit more understanding and tolerance of other people's differences. Scorpio, money matters. Depict the 16th runestone seed of Sowilo, affirming that finances and work will respond well to confidence, but not megalomania. Willpower will prevail and heal any situation, while self-importance will nullify gains already made. Self-criticism, here we go, see, or self-deprecation is not necessary, nor is it advisable for the Scorpion this month. Talking about money here. The humdrum path of confident assertiveness will keep the Scorpion's money safe in December. The middle path wins here once again. All in all, this runestone seed always indicates success and ascension whenever it shows up, with the aforementioned caveat to not overdo what one is able to handle in the excitement of all your success. Because you're very successful and you're going to remain so. Just to keep these, you know, pillars balanced. Because people think that the middle pillar is the wide way. And that it's the way that, you know, is easy and everyone goes. The middle pillar is not easy. Everybody usually tries to go to one side or the other, and they get kind of beat up on both sides. Too much light, too much darkness is going to destroy anybody. The middle pillar makes someone seem middle of the road or boring, however, it always is successful. That's actually the narrow way. That is actually the narrow way. Or if it wasn't before, it certainly is now. Oh, we're in a new age. That's what Barciel's trying to say. There we are. Okay. Okay. Scorpio health matters coalesce the 7th runestone seed of Gibo, for Scorpio in December. The Scorpion finds great success here again with the gift-giving season in full swing. Both your hospitality and generosity of those you exchange gifts with proves to elevate the health and well-being of all involved, exalting your communities and homes to new levels of ultimate health and attainment. Gibo is a cross, and it means gift. It's very lovely. It's like it's a gift. The Scorpion will find that the entire month of December is dazzling and successful, full of hope and attainment, gifting much increase of all good things if your focus is kept on topic, avoiding hurry or self-repression. Self-discipline and self-repression are not the same thing. Self-discipline, properly done, does not suppress and repress things that just later cause people to just blow up and be passive-aggressive. People need to just, and people who are passive-aggressive don't realize they're doing it. So everybody just needs to remain calm, but, everybody has, various characteristics. So just understand that everybody's dealing with the cards they were dealt, by divine providence. And if you were in their shoes, you do the exact same thing. And the only thing we can change, again, is our environment, what we let into our mind, the books we read, what we listen to, what we watch, and what we, who we hang out with. Okay. Enjoy yourself, Scorpio, this Christmas season, and eat smart, but well this month for your health, vitality, vim, and vigor. Be wise, be well, be all you are meant to be, Scorpio. Your divine tone of I create becomes even more creative in December. Thank you for joining us, Scorpio, and join us again next month.